Hey everyone, this is Ed with Ed Finds Treasure. So with the passing of the Queen Elizabeth, been looking at some coins that I just got today from a giveaway. This is one of them, 1944, with King George the Sixth. That was Queen Elizabeth's father, who, if you ever watched the King's Speech movie, he became king because his brother, because his father had died. So King George the Sixth died in 1952, which made Elizabeth queen in 1952. So a lot of times you see the new crown on coins after 1991. This is a 1994 nickel. So if you go back before 91, they had a different crown, just a lighter crown or something like that, but she always wanted to have some things changed and whatever. So here's a nickel with her father, King George V, or VI, I'm sorry. He did not want to be king, but he was king from 1936 when his brother Edward VII wanted to marry a divorced woman from Pennsylvania back in 36. He was King Edward VII, but the royalty wouldn't have that. So yes, King George VI became king. And so if you look back at the pennies, here's the Queen Elizabeth throughout the late 60s or even later. Throughout the early 50s, it was kind of called the young head design without a crown. And then later, I think it was 1964, they made her coin, the coin look with the Queen Elizabeth with the, a crown. And then they changed it in 1991 for the design. So when you go back to King George VI, her father, if you have coins like this one back before, it was King George V. So here we go. King George V was king only from 1910 to 1936. He was 70 years old when he died. And I don't have Edward the 7th, 1901 to 1910. He didn't reign for very long. I don't have any examples. Let's see. No, I do not. And King Edward the 5th, or 7th, I'm sorry, from 1901 to 1910, didn't do well health-wise. He died at 68 years old because he used to smoke 20 cigars and 20 cigarettes per day. So that didn't last too long. But his mother was Queen Victoria, who did reign for 63 years, I think from 1837 to 1901. I would love to get some of those old coins, but here's an example of King George V. Like I said, he started reigning, be king in 1920. So with your small coins, he goes from 1920 to 1936. And then King George VI coins came out until he died in 1952, which this is just a second folder, so I don't have it all. But here's the young Queen Elizabeth from 53 to 64. And then from then on, it had a different crown until 1991, when she wanted the other crown on her head for the design. And I do have some newer coins with the Queen. I think it's the same crown. And boy, even the newest penny I have from Canada is 2003. 2002 is second oldest or newest. And you can see it commemorates the 50th anniversary from 1952 to 2002. Her 50th year of reigning as queen. And then you go back to some of the older coins with her father and her grandfather, King George the Sixth or Fifth, up until 1936, when it became King George the Fifth, Sixth. 5 and 6. Okay, so delving into some history. So in the 120 years, England has had 4 kings and queen. King Edward the Seventh from 1901 to 1910. King George the Fifth, 1910 to 1936. Well, Edward the Seventh for 1 year before he got married to Willis Simpson from Pennsylvania. And then King George the Sixth, Elizabeth II for her 70 years as queen. So just thought I'd show you the King Fifth, which is Queen Elizabeth's grandfather. So this was in 1929. I did receive a 1928 today in a giveaway from Half Dollar Hunter. And I had a 1920, but it just caught my eye that the Queen Elizabeth II father was on a coin from 1944 that I received today. Gotta get rid of some tape residue on that. And if you hang on, I'm going to show you the other 2 coins that I received. Was a King George the Sixth. I keep confusing it. And this would be in the last coin that her father was on from 1952. And he, I believe, had illness, probably a heart attack, I believe. Let's see. Yeah, he was just in poor health, and that's why Queen Elizabeth was actually taking trips for him when she was in Africa, I believe, when he died. He was not supposed to go to the airport in 1952 to see her off, and had complications from that. So here's King George V. It's a dime size. They call it a dime, of course. And it is 92.5% silver. What it doesn't show here is the year. So I'm thinking there's some tape on there covering it up. I'm going to soak it overnight in some soap and water and see if I can find a date. It's awfully worn. These are all supposed to be maple leaves all around, and that of course had the date on it, so I'm not able to figure out what the date is as of yet. It may become clear by the morning, I don't know, but things are very worn. If it's a piece of tape, it's not coming off, but it should be silver there. There's almost a inkling of something underneath this brown spot, and it's on top of the silver here, so I'm going to see what happens. Alright, well, that's our little history lesson. It's confusing, but there have been 4 kings and queen in the 122 years. A lot of Georges. Alright, we'll talk to you later.